Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Big Boo, and we're here. We're back with another video. This one's going to be, again, from Charles Kirk. This one's going to be Charles Kirk drops the hammer on the border debate. Very interesting topic. I've said this before, and I'll say this again. Just because it's not happening in your area doesn't mean that it's not happening. And if you hear about stuff, then maybe do a little research. Just do a little dabbling and see what's going on in the world. Because just because I don't live in Chicago doesn't mean that what's happening in Chicago isn't at some point going to affect us. What happens if we keep having a whole bunch of illegals coming into Chicago, coming into New York and Texas, and New York, Chicago, and Texas don't have much room left? Where are they going to go? The next big states. And Georgia is going to be next on the list. So let's see what the conversation is going to go with. I know they're probably going to have some how would you say? Foreigners, those that probably came from other countries, of course, and they're probably going to have some words about it, but we'll see what they got to say. Let's check it out.
Just wondering, what exactly you think about undocumented immigrants? So what would you say about, the dairy industry and things like that, which, their backs are built off of undocumented immigrants?
Hire American.
Hire American? Yeah, but, then we'd have to pay them more because
exactly.
Right now
we would have to pay them more, and we would see higher wages, and the middle class in America would boom.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people fight against higher wages. Why is that exactly?
Well, I'm sure corporations fight against higher wages. That's why they want a bunch of foreigners to take American jobs and keep wages low, because they don't want to pay their workers because it might decrease their profitability.
So you are pro higher wages?
Of course.
So
that's why I want people that work in the dairy industry or at Tyson Foods or that work with their hands to be able to flourish and buy a home and have an American way of life that is largely forgotten now for many of them.
So what do you exactly classify as an American? What if it's someone who did come legally?
U.S. passport holder.
Okay, they but even if they came here legally?
Well, I said illegally.
Legally.
Well, if they came here legally, if they go through a process, they can get a U.S. passport. Yeah.
That's the biggest confusion, the biggest misconception. There are those that are here illegally that have zero documentation. There are those that are here legally, and I had to make that clarification because I have for those of y'all that don't know, I am Haitian American. Well, I am technically American. My family is Haitian. And within the past couple of years, for again those that don't know, Biden had passed a bill that allows for those from foreign countries, Haiti being one of them, and I feel like there's some other ones, to have somebody sponsor them to come to America, get a green card, all that stuff. I don't know what the requirements is and how many years they can stay before X, Y, and Z, or else they got to go back or something like that. But essentially, a lot of my wife's family came to America. A lot of my family from my mom's side, and I think some from my dad's side, have come to America, which is fine. You got somebody that sponsored them. You got paperwork that shows that you are here, and they can see and they can track you. Which is whatever. You came here legally. A bill was passed for this to happen, and now you're able to be tracked. That's legal. That's something that I learned because initially, when I was right in the beginning of my journey of digging into politics, I always thought, okay, what happens with these guys? But then I was talking to somebody, and they were like, yeah, they came here legally, so they're fine. But the migrants that's coming in illegally, that's where the problem is. And there's a plethora of them coming in. And that's what a lot of people aren't really understanding. Let's continue.
Okay.
Until then, they're a visitor applying to be a member of our very large country.
Okay, so pro higher wages for Americans?
Of course.
Yeah. Why not?
Thank you.
That was easy. All right,
there's obviously a lot of bad people coming in illegally through the border, but there's also a lot of good people that want to work hard that can't come legally due to the rampant corruption on the border. In some cases, it can cost up to 200,000 pesos to come in legally, and that's more than a Mexican citizen can make in their entire lifetime. So how can we sell them the American dream, but not let them in legally, the people that want to do good, not let them in legally to pursue
Sell them the American. Let me make notes of this so that I can stop talking or stop. You know,
that dream.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they want to do good. Just send them back to their country. I mean, there's a lot of Vietnamese that want to do good and come here, but they don't live close, so they don't border jump.
So, okay.
Hey, this is not their home. Go back to your home and go make Mexico great again.
But they can't necessarily do that while the cartels are running the government. They have no upward mobility, and we sell them the American dream.
Then go fix your country.
Because that's
not my problem.
Isn't that the point of America, to
No,
sell
so
the American dream?
what is the point of America? Is the point to bring in a bunch of foreigners, or is the point to protect our own citizens?
Well,
Is it we, the foreigners of the United States?
The foreigners are the ones that became the citizens.
Well, is it? Well, that's the question. Were we founded by immigrants or founded by settlers?
They're the same thing.
No, they're not. Settlers come to something not built. Immigrants come to something already built.
But all the immigrants that came to something already built that are now citizens.
Fair enough. Yeah, they're here.
But now we're still selling that dream, but not allowing them in the proper
Yeah,
way.
I mean, what do you mean by selling the dream?
Of the American dream, that's still a huge talking point, and that's still a big claim to fame that we have.
You know, the American dream I want sold is for all American-born kids to be able to own a home and have a family and have kids. I'm sorry if the concern of like a third worlder in Honduras is not my primary concern. Like a whole idea of a government is you put your people first. You don't put the like compassionate narratives of someone in the third world first.
Well,
our country's falling apart. Most of you guys will not be able to own a home. You're going to be swimming in debt, medical debt, student loan debt, credit card debt. We're sending hundreds of millions of dollars to Ukraine. So yeah, we should secure the border and put young people first and fulfill the social contract. Then we can worry about the third world.
Wouldn't letting the individuals that want to come here and work hard and contribute to the country make it better for all American citizens?
Has it?
how would you know that?
In the past, yes.
Has it the last 5 years? Have the amount of illegals in this country made the country better for all people?
Well, most of those individuals aren't the good people.
So then if they want to be here so bad, we do have a legal process. So then let's go through the legal process.
But the legal process is almost impossible for most people.
Well, it's impossible for Mongolians too.
Okay.
So either we have an immigration system or we don't, and we're deciding we just let anyone in our country no matter what just because they're poor.
My focus was more on the corruption on the
corruption is fine. We can
system.
fix it. That's fine. But my concern is why do we not put, especially American 18 to 20-year-olds first? You guys get the last of everything. Instead, the abstractions of the regime seem to take priority. So,
Gotcha.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hi, good afternoon, Mr. Kirk. I have a disagreement with your take on the border policy. Okay. To my understanding, you said we should reduce the immigrant on the border to zero, correct? Well, a little bit about myself. My name is June. I just got out of the Marine Corps. My whole career is about war on terror.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Well, at least that's what they told me when they threw me in Bahrain and told me on standby. I'm all about keeping the terrorists out of the country, but I disagree with you because historically speaking, more than 12,000 Chinese laborers built the railroads for America in the 1800s.
You're right.
Not all of them are documented and legal. Thousands
You're
of
right.
Irish immigrants built the skyscrapers in New York. Not all of them are documented.
No, they
legal.
did come in legally. That is true. The Irish did, yeah.
But also, back in the 1920s, all the way up to 60s, the government took the legislative act of Barcelo Act that imports millions of Mexican workers for the labor work in this country. And why all of a sudden you want to close it down? And there's almost zero exposure on the northern border.
Well, there are people crossing on the northern border too, but why do I want to shut it down? They're breaking the law. Should we not have the law that says you can't walk into the country without proper approval?
Well, for the longest time, they can just...
Well, no, hold on. The Irish came
Really?
via Ellis Island.
Okay.
The Czechoslovakians came legally. The Polish came legally. So I don't know what group I mean, the Chinese, I'll take your word for it. I would imagine they came through a port of entry and we knew who they were.
They definitely came.
But we have no
through a
idea
port.
who these people are on the southern border. We don't know their background. We don't know why they're here. There's 15,000 people a day that are illegally crossing into the country, breaking our laws.
Okay, so for the past 50 years, there hasn't really been a fence or any sort of process to deport them or catch them when they cross
No,
the
that's
border.
not true. We've had deportations for the last 30 years. In fact, we did mass deportations in the early 2000s. Even Obama deported about a couple 100,000 people a year. So
Why
that's
all of a sudden now everything, you want to
It's-
tighten up everything?
You know why? Because the border crisis has never been so bad. It used to be a couple hundred a day. Now it's 15,000 a day.
Okay, so it's about the severity, not really about.
It's both. I mean, I've always been a hawk on the border, but now it's reaching such a point where illegals are taking over schools in Chicago and New York, disenfranchising native-born American social services. And not to mention, the law is very clear. We have a process to come into this country, and they're deciding to break that law, which is a crime.
Okay. Is there a better approach to this besides just shutting up the border?
Yeah, also have Mexico do it, which Trump did. Mexico could secure the border as well, and they're choosing not to.
Okay. Well,
Thank you. Appreciate it.
thank you.
Thanks.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? If you reached this far into the video, that means that you are a real one, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you. We reached 500 subs, which is great. Thank you guys so much. And that being said, we're halfway to our goal, which is 1,000 subs. Let's clap it up. So as a token of my appreciation, we're going to be doing a small giveaway once we hit the goal. But do know that as this channel continues to grow, the giveaway amount is also going to grow. But more details is going to come later on. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and like, subscribe so you can be part of this great community of living one Geta. Let's go ahead and get back to the video.
How you doing, sir?
I might have to go visit all those lunatics in a
I do
second.
apologize if I stutter. Not the best at public speaking.
That's okay. Thank you for coming up.
Of course. I was just going to ask, how do we morally deal with, because don't get me wrong, I am conservative. I do believe that illegal immigrants shouldn't come to the country and take up social welfare systems and all that. How do we deal with cases where they came here illegally, they had a child? Should we allow those parents to stay or allow that child to just have no,
It's
like,
a good
send the parents
question.
away?
Yeah, just deport the whole family back.
Even though the child has no connections, like to
Okay,
their
I missed that.
stay or allow that child to just how do we deal with cases where they came here illegally, they had a
okay,
child?
so I
Should we allow those parents to stay or allow that child to just have no,
It's
like,
a good
send the parents
question.
away?
Yeah, just deport the whole family back.
Even though the child has no connections, like to their family's home country.
Oh, so they were smuggled into the country?
No, born
they were
here.
born.
Like
Oh,
if the
well,
parents
if they're
came
born here, they
right.
stay because they're a U.S. citizen.
Theoretically, yes, which causes the issue with ripping the family apart. So let's see what the response is. That's a very, very good question. Very good question. What you guys say, Kirk?
I think we should get rid of birthright citizenship, but I don't get what I want. So
Of course, they cut that question a little short, but that's fine. I was expecting a more better answer, but I mean, it's whatever. Interesting take. So one of the questions that one of the guys said was talking about selling people the American dream. Bro, you need to sell the people that live here the American dream, because as if right now the American dream, the way that I thought about it when I was younger, is clearly not the case. That needs to be fixed. But the problem with that is that a lot of our money is going elsewhere. So it's like, how, like, and we need to be good at math. We need to be financially responsible as a whole if we're going to be able to sell this American dream that doesn't exist. I mean, at this point, American dream was you're able to work, the wife is able to stay at home and take care of the kids, not trying to be sexist or whatever the case may be. But essentially, that's the case. And women, let's be real. A majority of women don't want to sit here and work. Let's just be real. But anyways, that's not what we were talking about. So I really think that it's important that the people here need to be taken care of. It's crazy that we're letting in so many people that can just do whatever they want, giving them a whole bunch of handouts, and we don't even know who they are. They don't have no social, no nothing, but we're just giving them whatever. And you got students here, you got people that are my age that's still struggling to buy a house, working decent jobs, but because of inflation right now, they can't get a house. They can barely afford food. Stuff is ridiculous. But I think, what was it, Chicago or New York or something like that, put in $5 billion to the illegal migration. $5 billion. That's absurd. That could have went to something else, but they're trying to bring all these people in. And as you can see in the news, I think there was an issue recently. It was a youngster that was here He was doing some crimes and he was wanted in a couple states, and he got deported back to South America. Homie made his way back over here, and he went to a baseball game, stabbed a girl in the hand, and whatnot. It's like, what are we doing? And that's not all the immigrants. And that's the thing. It's not all the immigrants. And I completely understand that. But there is a way to do this. Can you make it easier for people to come here? Yes. I think the idea is that, I mean, if you have nobody that's already in America, it's going to be tough. At least with the Haitians that always came in, you know, trying to get them in the country. They had people here that was already here that was able to work, save up the money so that they can get over here. I think with a lot of people coming from the border, they may not have somebody that's already over here, or they don't have somebody that's willing to put up the money to get them over here. I don't know. That's just a weird one. Talking about selling the American dream. The people here can't even see the American dream. We're trying to sell other people to come here for the American dream. And I don't know, it's weird. And the thing that the one man, the military guy, he was talking about the whole migration situation of other nations in the past years. Yeah, it's very different. All the other nations came from overseas. If you're going to get on a boat, you kind of have to know who's coming, who's getting on the boat. Whereas to this case, they're just letting people just come on over and get on these buses and just be transported, which I guess is kind of the same thing, the transportation nonetheless. But I think they were more cautious on who came over here, as opposed to just letting anybody over here. But even then, the people that were coming over here, they weren't coming here doing crime. This is a different time and age. The people that are coming here aren't coming here just to work. They're just coming here just to be Americans. They're not coming here to just because honestly, strangely enough, I'm hearing that a lot of these migrants aren't doing anything. They're expecting these handouts. They're expecting the money from the government. They're expecting the food. They're expecting the housing and stuff like that. And they're not really contributing too much into America. But I mean, that's where we're at right now. Interesting video, y'all. If you guys like the video, go ahead and like the video and go ahead and hit that bell so that you can get notified every time a new video comes up. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all take it easy. Peace.